On the 5th of May, 1821, at the age of 51, one of the most powerful and feared men across Europe died in exile on a remote island, a prisoner of the British. Napoleon Bonaparte was a French emperor, and he is remembered as being one of the most skilled military commanders in history. However, his defeat at the Battle of Waterloo saw him weakened, and he then surrendered himself to the British on the 15th of July, 1815. But there has been a lot of speculation regarding Napoleon's death, and historians have questioned, almost since the day he died, what actually killed the former emperor. There is a belief that he may have even been poisoned. Join us today as we look at Was Napoleon Poisoned? And as always, to support our channel, please make sure to subscribe. Napoleon wrote in his will 3 weeks before he died that, "I die before my time, murdered by the English oligarchy and its assassin." There were many questions about his death, but it's known for certain that his health began to get worse in 1821, and by March he was confined to his bed. He wrote 2 wills weeks later, and he said in this that the Bourbons would fall, and that his son would go on to rule France, and he stipulated that he should be buried by the River Seine. However, he did continue to go downhill, and on the 3rd of May he was given the last rites, and he was very ill, and his last words were stated to have either been, "France, the army, head of the army, Josephine, who retreats at the hands of the army, or France, my son, the army." But Napoleon then passed away, and different autopsy reports concluded different things, but they both agreed that he died from internal bleeding caused by stomach cancer, and this also killed his father. But then another theory came forward about Napoleon being killed by what was arsenic poisoning, and when his body was exhumed for reburial in 1840, this was put forward. Arsenic is toxic to microorganisms, and it slows down the decomposition of human tissue, and Napoleon's hair, when it was tested, contained positive arsenic readings. Napoleon himself believed he was being killed by foul play, and he may have thought he was being slowly poisoned by the British, who were having to foot the bill of his expensive imprisonment and exile. But there was another problem regarding his imprisonment, and this is that he may have actually been accidentally poisoned after being for many years exposed to the poison fumes given off by the wallpaper at Longwood, his prison. When samples of this were analysed, the wallpaper was found to also contain arsenic, meaning the environment of his imprisonment was actually a poison cauldron. In a hot and damp room, the wallpaper would give off dangerous fumes and vapours, which would be found in his hair, but some historians have doubted this killed him. Many have said that Napoleon may have been exposed to high arsenic levels for a long time, and that he even may have suffered from chronic exposure. It was an ingredient which was used in many different products during the 19th century, and wallpaper would be hung with arsenic-laced paste, and the poisons were also found in soaps, fabrics and much more. It was also used as rat poison, and it was believed to have been a safe medicine to cure certain problems with the body too, and to remove blemishes in the skin and produce healthier looking skin. But mixed in food, arsenic was difficult to taste, and it had been used as a weapon to kill for centuries. When administered slowly over time, it caused a number of serious symptoms, such as flu-like symptoms, nausea, vomiting, convulsions, confusion, and difficulty breathing, as well as severe abdominal pain. Napoleon's autopsy confirmed a number of things. For example, it was said that the liver was swollen and of unnaturally large size, and that the spleen and hardened liver were extremely large and swollen with blood. The liver tissue, red and brown in colour, showed no significant alteration in its structure. The liver had suffered chronic hepatitis. The organ which was said to have been the worst affected was Napoleon's stomach, as it was said that a cancerous ulcer was found and that the stomach lining had a hole in it, and there was also a lot of swelling. It was confirmed that this was a malignant cancerous growth, but the confirmation by the doctors at the time was that he died from this cancerous growth near to the pylorus, and this was the same cause of death that his father and also sister had. It was also found that his legs had swollen rather severely in his final days. However, the poisoning theory continued, but the emperor was the only person held at Longwood House amongst those who worked there who displayed any link to possible poisoning. But one thing to consider is that with the wallpaper theory, that this could have poisoned him and it may have been done accidentally. But by the end of his life, Napoleon was suffering and he was disillusioned with his life. One thing to also consider is that in 2021, a group of pathologists who specialise in gastrointestinal issues re-looked at the matter of Napoleon's death, and they concluded that he in fact died from stomach cancer. In 1840, the British gave permission for Napoleon's remains to be repatriated back to France. He had previously been buried on St Helena, but he was then exhumed and his body was found to have been very well preserved, due to the fact it had been sealed inside 4 different coffins. 2 of these were made from metal, and 2 of them were made from mahogany. But then on the 15th of December 1840, a state funeral was held in Paris in front of the crowds of around 1 million, who saw the repatriated remains of Napoleon paraded throughout the streets, and he was then buried in St Jerome's chapel, in a tomb which was designed for him. But in 1861 his remains were then held in a sarcophagus under the dome at Les Invalides. But what cannot be disputed is the impact that Napoleon had on history, and he is remembered as one of the most skilled military commanders, and he came close to conquering large parts of Europe. His hindrance was his greed when it came to the amount of land he wanted to take, as failing in Russia caused chaos for his leadership. But to the French he was a national hero, and his emergence came after the French Revolution and the chaos of it, and his military successes wrote his name in history as a brilliant leader of armies. Thanks for watching. To support our channel, please make sure to subscribe, and once again, thank you so much for watching.